I think there is this perception about Jim Harbaugh that he didn't really get great till 2021. And I will fight anybody who says that, because I think what he did before that was really great. But I want you guys to talk about two things. One, what did you see pre-COVID that Harbaugh did to elevate the program? And then how did he continue that post-COVID? Because I think COVID seemed like that dip, right? 2-4. It seemed like everything kind of went by the wayside. How did he elevate the program from 2015 to 2019? And then how did he continue that progress post-COVID?
So a lot to unpack there. So I would say, talking about pre-COVID, the first thing Jim Harbaugh did in 2015 was reinstill a sense of belief, pride, and the culture he was looking to establish initially. So it was a return, like just getting away from the Brady Hoke era, the way that disastrously ended and everything that happened with that regime, and to what he did like through 15, 16, 17, and 18. It was Harbaugh's mentality. Like it was, I mean, you had 3 10-win seasons there. You had the bad year being 8-5 in the middle, but it was just like, it felt like Michigan was back. But also like Michigan was back to 9, 10 wins, which was an improvement, but he started searching for more in the wrong way. So like in 2019, hires a new offensive coordinator, kind of just ignores the fact that the defense is going stale. Hence was it 63-39 beat down by Ohio State against Michigan in 2018. That's an aside, that Harbaugh's overcommitment to assistant coaches at that time was one of his downfalls. Like happened offensively with Tim Drevno, then defensively with Don Brown. But in 2019, like he tried to reinvent himself, tried to get ahead of everybody. Like what he was doing was running stale. Like I got to freshen it up. I got to do this. And he tried the wrong thing. He put the belief in the wrong thing. He got away from his core tenets, his core principles. And you saw that in 2019 with an up and down kind of season. And then I think it all just came to a head in 2020. And without that year, the magnifying glass wouldn't have been put on the problems that they could resolve and build upon post-COVID.
Well said by Andy there. He's our resident historian. So whenever we're talking about like the change of the guard, I always lean on him. But he nailed the key points there. Like he brought in Tim Drevno initially when he came to Michigan, and that pretty much signified what he wanted to do there, which was a continuation of what he did at San Francisco and at Stanford. I mean, he wants and continues to want this to be an offense built around the offensive line and the running game and quality quarterback play. Obviously, there was the Andrew Luck thing at Stanford where he kind of just lucked, pardon the unintentional pun there, into an incredible elite quarterback. But for the most part, like you can be just a solid quarterback in a Jim Harbaugh system and take control of the ball. And that's what he wanted. Went away from that with Pep Hamilton in 2019. But then COVID happens, almost gets fired, and you see dramatic changes there. And he's like, if I'm going out on my terms. He went back to exactly what Jim Harbaugh had always been. But the key thing that happened, bigger than anything else that happened around then, was the installation of the Baltimore Ravens defense. There's now an infamous phone call where he called his brother and was like, I mean, had a heart-to-heart about it. I'm about to get fired at Michigan, my dream job. What do we do here? I need your defense. And obviously that story's been written now, and now we have this kind of installation of the Baltimore Ravens defense and continuing with Wink Martindale. So just going back from McDaniel, Minter, and now Martindale, where we've installed this defense that has really, really turned the tide. So I think that was probably the other biggest thing, other than what Andy mentioned.
In 2020, just for reference how far away we lost the plot at Michigan, it was the only year in the Jim Harbaugh era that per game Michigan was throwing the ball more than running it, with Josh Gaddis at the helm. So that was a big difference. And just philosophically and schematically, both sides of the ball got a complete overhaul after that season. Jared alluded to and talked about the defense and what happened there, but offensively, the team promoted Sharon Moore to co-OC, and his smash identity really took hold, almost like a Harbaugh incarnate. Like he needed Sharon Moore to come and like wake up what was inside of him. And Michigan realized that in order to get ahead, they needed to return to the past and get back to running the football, because as smaller hybrid linebackers and safeties had inundated the game, the best way to exploit this trend was to run the damn ball. And after
Mhm.
working at Michigan since 2018 and serving as a prime catalyst for like everything going 2020 is why I feel so good about what Sharon Moore is building for this year and the foreseeable future.